What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the Brew-Lab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight in the Brew-Lab, I'm coming at you with another episode of Spoiler Talk. And quite a bit of stuff ended up coming out like after I went to bed last night. We ended off yesterday on Circuit Mender over here. Today, we're just going to finish off the rest of yesterday's stuff, and then there's a lot of new stuff from today, and some insanely overpowered stuff that I can't wait to get to. So, let's just jump right into it, shall we? We've got another Human Samurai. This time it's a legendary, 4-drop in Boros colors. First strike 3/3. Whenever a Samurai warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it is the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. I don't know. Like, it's weird. So, like, you play this on turn 4. One of your other guys that you have attacks, and he gets the effect already. So, it's pretty freaking sweet. I think the way this deck is going to play is sort of this, like, you gear up one of these samurais and you make it super strong with all of these equipments and enchantments and modifications, and then you just keep attacking with only that one. And there's lots of cards that synergize it, like whenever a warrior goes alone, you may look even here, another 4-drop. You may cast target artifact card from your graveyard this turn for free. Or maybe it's okay, no, it doesn't say without paying its mana cost, but like, you see what I mean? There's plenty of these cards where it says this and you get something cool. So while at the same time you're leaving up blockers. So I think it could be pretty cool, as long as there's like some stuff that gives you like hexproof or indestructible, you know. Maybe splash a bit of blue for some counter magic. I'm down for some samurais. I can't wait. Then we got another shrine. So shrines are back. Like now it's 100% confirmed. The only difference, it's pretty certain that there's going to be at least one of every color. And the only difference with these new ones in Neon Dynasty is that they're creatures as well as enchantments. Legendary enchantment creature shrine. This one has a 3-mana 2/2 with first strike, and at the beginning of your end step you may pay 1. When you do, Go Shintai or of Ancient Wars. We're just going to call that Go Shintai. Deals X damage to target player or planeswalker, or X is the number of shrines you control, player or planeswalker. That's pretty sweet. Next up, we've got a card that I think... Simic Spirits, baby. Are you ready? Simic or Banned Spirits. This is a 1-drop we needed. So 1/1 for 1 Spirit in green. And whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You can select itself or another creature. The second card I would cast in my Banned Enchantments, Matters, Spirits deck is the other one that was spoiled way back here that they haven't confirmed yet, but I'm fairly certain is coming. Kami of Transience. Turn 2, you drop this guy. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on Kami of Transience at the beginning of each end step, blah, 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 blah. Turn 3, you start going crazy. You got 3 mana open, you start playing some of these like sagas or whatever other enchantment you might have, or an enchantment creature that there's plenty of in the format, and you start getting all of those triggers. It's gonna be super fun. I think that's pretty good. New little 1-drop for a potential Simic / Banned Spirits Enchantments Matters deck. I can't wait to try it. Then we've got Satsuki. Wow, the art on this thing is freaking insane. Satsuki, the Living Law. Okay, so this is the signpost rare, kind of. This is probably going to go in that deck. So you put a law counter on each saga you control. So all your sagas like go up one more. So you can like flip them if they're almost at the point where they come back as creatures, and make it happen on your turn before waiting until the next turn. And when she dies, you can choose one. Either you return target saga enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand, or return target saga card from graveyard to your hand. That's pretty cool. I guess we'll have to see how important these sagas are. But I have a feeling they're going to be pretty important. It's a huge part of the set, so she might end up being a really, really crucial kind of glue card to some combo. Next up, we've got Peerless Samurai. Yeah, because, sorry, just going on the combo we were just talking about earlier. Then, when those sagas come back, all of them are enchantment creatures on the backside. I'm just looking for one here to make sure. Yeah, they're all enchantment creatures on their backside. So then they would all hit the board. Oh no, it's only whenever you cast. Never mind. Moving on. Next up, we got Peerless Samurai. 3 mana, 2/3 with Menace. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast. I wonder. That's not terrible. I guess we'll have to see the samurai deck. It's a common. But it seems to me like you're trying to stack all of these effects and just have one of them attacking every time, but they're all getting the various triggers. And this might be one that you really want. The next spell you cast costs 1 less to cast. That's pretty good. Anyway, that brings January 30th to a close. We are now continuing on to the 31st. They released, they showed us the basic lands, and they are so gorgeous. Look at this stuff. It's like, this is like, oh my god, I've just been going crazy over this artwork. It's like modern day Japan fused with bonsais and stuff. These bamboo forests. I'm super excited about this. Like these guys, I can't remember the name from the introduction video, but there's like this clan, and they're in the mountains, and they're super like progressive. Ooh, pardon me. I'm supposed to click that. Amazing. Look at this one. Wow. Wow. I think they've outdone themselves in the set, like with the art. It might not be to everybody's liking. I also don't really like the super duper anime ones. Like, this one is okay, but like some of them are just a bit much. Whereas these like more traditional painting style ones, they don't offend me at all. This looks like normal Magic to me. A little bit futuristic, no worries. Alright, the first new card from the 31st is the Schreitende Wolkenskratzer. Why does everything always sound so gnarly in German? We've got the Striding Skyscraper. 8 mana artifact creature construct. It costs 1 less to cast for each modified creature you control. So that could end up costing 0 because of the... Interesting. You could cast this for 0 pretty quickly with like something like, I don't know, Felidar Retreat puts counters on everybody. Luminarch Aspirant, that sort of thing. You just have a bunch of like little insect token scoots or something. I don't know, just go wide with little weenies, and then this thing just costs you 1 mana with 0. And it has hexproof as long as it's untapped. So it doesn't just get like insta removed when it comes into play. That's actually pretty potent. We'll have to keep our eye on Schreitende Wolkenskratzer. Next up, we got something in Japanese looking letters. Otawara. Heavenly City. Okay, so this is the blue channel land. Ooh, I bet you it bounces something. Legendary land, so it taps for blue, but then you can channel it for 3 colorless and 1 blue. Discard Otawara Heavenly City. Return target. Oh, there we go. Return target artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. So you can save your. It's like a free freaking. Wow, that's amazing. This ability will cost you 1 less for each legendary creature you control. That's pretty sweet. That's not the best one. I still think the green one's the best one so far. But pretty sweet. Of course, blue bounces things. They couldn't just give them like a free counter spell. It's too strong. Next up, we've got Inkrise Infiltrator. Probably just some draft chaff. But like probably just a nice thing to use to ninjutsu. A little evasive 1/2 flyer that can grow. It's a bit expensive. If this was a bit cheaper, it would be probably uncommon. Next up, we've got this card already has been making memes all over social media. Like it's the one card that I couldn't help it being spoiled. I was trying to stay away from social media so I wouldn't see the cards today, but you know, sometimes you can't help it. And this I saw a lot of. The Mech Titan Core. 2 mana, 2/4. Okay. Vehicle with crew 2. That already is pretty freaking sweet. 2 mana, 2/4, even alone without, you know. So it's a easy to crew 2/4. But if you've got 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles, and don't forget, like, all of the little new equipment things are artifact creatures too. You could easily have that quickly if you include like some, I don't know, mana rocks, and I wonder if, okay, no, it has to be artifact creatures and or vehicles. So it can't just be other artifacts. But essentially, if the opponent goes for like a sweeper or actually no, it wouldn't work in the case of the sweeper. That doesn't make sense. Beg your pardon. Because it doesn't have indestructible. So it's not a way to protect against sweepers. But at some point, you can pay 5 and you exile Mech Titan Core and 4 other artifacts and or vehicles you control, and you create Mech Titan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mech Titan Core except Mech Titan Core to the battlefield, tapped under their owner's control. So even if they kill it, they'll come back. It's insane. I think it's insane. I think it's super duper fun. Like, that is going to be so good. You just get this, like, and here it is. Someone found the dun dun dun. Mecha Titan. Oh, come on. Here it is. Mecha Titan is all colors. Flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, haste, 10/10. And then, like, if they remove it, ta-da, you get all your stuff back. I think that's going to be so fun to play with. And, like, pretty strong, you know? Maybe the opponent, like, it would work. It wouldn't work in the example I made with the sweeper, but with targeted removal, you go to, like, target one of your important artifacts. You just 5 mana, instant speed. Assemble the Mech Titan. And then, you know, it's pretty sweet. Next up, Born to Drive. 3 mana. Beg your pardon. 3 mana enchantment, artifact, or creature. As long as enchantment permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. Or you can channel it for 3, same cost as its casting cost, discard it, and create 2 colorless pilot creature tokens with this creature cruise vehicles with blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, if this enchantment slash vehicles. I still don't see the vehicle deck yet. It's not quite forming in my head how it's gonna look, but it seems like it's going to be very important to have these little pilot guys that crew your stuff as if they were power 2 greater. So this might end up being important. We'll have to see. And it might end up buffing like quite a bit of, buffage. +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. Could end up being quite a decent buff as well. Finally, we got the white of this cycle. The white one of this cycle. We've seen the black one. We've seen the red one. Red one so far, insane. But then I also saw this one on social media today, so I already know what's coming. But this thing is insane, guys. So you return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures and or vehicles target player controls. So if you get, for 5 mana investment, you get back your best thing from your graveyard to the battlefield. Boom. ETB triggers, you name it. And then you distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among, all the rest of the guys that are on the board. I think that's pretty damn sweet. Come back from a sweeper. Just put all the counters on yourself. On the thing you bring back. I like it. I don't think it's as good as the red one. So far, the red one's still the best. But I think it's better than black one. The black one is like a little bit too conditional. And like in the worst case scenario, the black one's worse than this one's worst case scenario. This one's best case scenario, you've got a full board, you bring back something crazy, and then you put those +1/+1s on all the rest of your guys, and go bazunga. I like it. Invoke Justice. I wonder what the green one's going to be like. And the blue one. I do not want to know what the blue one is going to be. It's probably going to be like draw a bajillion cards for free. Next up, we've got another one of these MDFC sagas that turn into creatures. This time it's the rare red one. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Create a 2/2. Ooh, this one seems interesting. Create a 2/2 red goblin shaman creature token with whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. So treasures kind of persisting a little bit. You may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards. So it's up to you how many you discard, and then you draw that many on the second chapter. And then it comes back as the reflection of Kikijiki. Pretty spooky stuff. Create a token that's a copy of another non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. The jank potential with this is quite epic. Oh, wow. You can either just make copies of the first one that you made, the 2/2 red goblin shaman, and you just keep attacking, make a treasure. It dies, doesn't matter. You made a treasure. You use that to ramp. Or, endless other possibilities. You can make copies of so many things that I could think of, like even just Goldspan Dragon or freaking, I don't know. That is epic. It's a little bit weak. It's going to be prone to all kinds of removal. Even enchantment removal can hit it. It's, but you can probably get in like 1 attack with your, or maybe 2 attacks if you're lucky. The opponent doesn't have a sweeper or whatever. But the jank potential is there. I like it. I can't wait to test it out. Here's the black one, also rare. Tribute to Horobi. Each opponent creates a 1/1 black rat rogue creature token. Epic. So you give the opponent a 1/1 rat for both times. Okay. And then it comes back as Echo of Death's Wail. 3/3 flying haste. When it enters the battlefield, you gain control of all rat tokens. So the opponent either like does something with them quickly, or you gain control of them. And then whenever you attack, you you can sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you draw a card. It's a little convoluted, but I like it a lot. You get to draw a card. You get to maybe get some death synergies with your rat tokens dying, you know, in your black sack deck. I could see it. I can see it happening. I like that one. I wonder if it will be strong enough. Note that it's a black spirit. That's pretty cool. Enchantment, spirit, black. Maybe. Next up, this one has been like making waves on social media today. And it's the one from Marrow's teaser blog post that had the clause, you know, they lose the game. So finally, here it is, the Vessel of the All-Consuming, which is the backside of Hidetsugu Consumes All. Holy moly. So you destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. That, because you're doing this on turn 3, you'll hit some stuff, but it's not like, whoa. Mostly I'm happy about like some of the classes. There's a few pretty good strong like 1-drops that I'd love to hit with this, like maybe even just the Champion of the Perished. But that's probably not going to hit much. But then you exile, so maybe it's, I don't know, it might be better. I guess it hits all of the tokens that you have, like all the treasures, all of the freaking blood tokens. So maybe this is better like on a late game. It's not a turn 3 play. But then the backside makes a little bit less sense. Maybe this is like a turn 5, turn 6 play in your like Mardu control deck. You play this thing, you get rid of all the opponent's treasure tokens, and then on the second chapter you exile all graveyards. So you exile your own graveyard as well. So probably won't be playing anything with flashback in the deck or any kind of reanimator shenanigans. And then when it comes back as this Vessel of the All-Consuming, it's a 3/3 with trample. It doesn't even have haste. Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, so I mean, by the time you can swing in with this thing, it's going to be like turn 4. The opponent's going to have some blockers left. It's not like this destroy each non-land permanent thing is going to get rid of all the opponent's blockers. So then you've also got to follow it up with like some heavy removal to make sure that it does, like, it would have been better if it had menace. But if this card ends up dealing 10 damage to the opponent over time, boom, the opponent instantly loses the game. So I don't know. I don't think it's that good, but we might try some janky nonsense with it, or who knows, maybe there'll be a way to give it flying or some other form of evasion and then protect it in a Grixis deck or something. I don't know. Let me know your ideas in the comments down below. But next up, we've got another crazy expensive white sorcery. Beg your pardon. Brilliant Restoration. That's expensive. A 7 mana, 3 colorless and 4 white. So this is definitely going in your mono white deck. See why it's expensive though. Like as a late game, 7 mana, return all artifacts and enchantment cards from graveyard to the battlefield. Boom. That might be insane. Just like a one-off. Because there's so many creatures that are enchantments, so you just get everything. Like there'll be a deck where they're like that means you just bring your entire graveyard to your battlefield in one go. The opponent finally sweeps everything, and you just cast this on turn 7. Bring everything back. The opponent scoops. I think that might actually be pretty good. Like maybe even a 2 of in these like new enchantment matters, like maybe a mono white one. Imagine with your hallowed although that has to be cast, it's not ETB triggers. But yeah, still keep an eye on this one. Next up, we got Reality Heist. 7 mana. Instant. but it costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. So it could, it probably cost as cheap as 2 many times. And you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 artifact cards from among them, put them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of the library in random order. So it's a potentially 2 mana to maybe draw, put 2 artifacts in your hand. I don't know. Might be really important in this artifact deck that's looming, but so far I don't have enough information to say whether this is going to be worth it. Worth a slot in your deck over something more simple. I don't know. There's plenty of ways to draw in blue. It doesn't have to be so complicated. Next up, Norika Yamazaki, the poet. It's another one of these 3 drops for the samurai deck. 3/2 with vigilance. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, again, same clause. It's cool that it's warrior, so then who knows? It might be a good. I'm thinking already of that. There's that giant that has kicker, and if you don't pay the kicker cost, it just keeps coming back to your hand. You just don't use the kicker, bring it down, attack with it, get all the triggers, and then bounces back to your hand. Doesn't get killed. That might be pretty cool. But it's another 3-drop. It's plenty 3-drops. You may cast target enchantment card from your graveyard this turn. So we've got this one's for enchantments, the other one was for artifacts. I wonder if there's any that have flash of those artifacts. We'll have to see. Next up, we've got... My Fox Tribal is slowly starting to coalesce. And this is going to be part of it for sure. Okay, the Restoration of a Ganjo. This card is epic. Search your library for a basic plains, then put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Then you may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Epic. And then, so basically you just discard the thing that you want to play that's a 2-drop. And it just automatically gets put onto the battlefield tab, maybe get some ETB triggers, and then it comes back as the Architect of Restoration, which is an enchantment creature, Fox Monk, which is a 3/4 with vigilance, and whenever it attacks or blocks, you create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. So, I think this is going in my Catilda, the new one, the flying one. That comes back as an aura. Mono white enchantment matters deck. This is going to be epic. I can't wait to play with this card. Restoration of Big Ganjo. 10 out of 10. Next up, we got a bit of a weird one. I don't know if I like this. Enormous Energy Blade. I mean, it's hilarious. I love the art and the name and everything, but it's a rubbish card. Because the equipped creature gets +4/+0. But whenever you equip it, you have to tap that creature. So I guess you can do it when the creature still has summoning sickness. So okay, it doesn't get to stay up as a blocker, but then the next turn it doesn't have summoning sickness, and now it's got +4/+0, and you swing in. But it's just a bit clunky and expensive, and you got to pay 3, and then it does nothing, and it just sits there, and then you got to wait till the next turn and pay 2, and then when you tap the creature tapped, and it's just too clunky. Way too clunky, but hilarious. Really, really good art. I love it. But not going to see play in any of my decks, I don't think. Next up, we've got Light the Way. These are the 1 mana instants. I was looking for cool new little cantrips for maybe Magecraft decks or whatever, but this one looks to be... Okay. So it's very versatile. This definitely could go in the Magecraft deck. Light the Way. Choose 1. You put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature or vehicle. And untap it. So blocking or attacking, both sweet. Instant speed, doesn't matter. You can use it to trick an opponent in a combat trick. Block and then buff your guy. Or you can bounce a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Very nice. Cool. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. This vehicle brew, it's looking good. Next up, we've got the Fall of Lord Konda. 3 mana enchantment saga. Uncommon. Exile target creature an opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater for 3. That's great, and it's gone, like actually exiled. It's not like Borrowed Time or, Brutal Cathar or Skyclave Apparition. The only thing it has, Skyclave Apparition is mana value 4 or less. This is mana value 4 or greater. But this costs 3 mana, just the same. And the first chapter does that. Boom, exiles. That's great. Like a loth. Bye-bye. Not going to come back with Blood on the Snow. And each player gains control of all permanents they own. That's going to be like to combat some specific card in red. We've already got that one that like takes control of your card or something. But like, I don't know what other reason there is for that. And then it comes back as the Fragment of Konda. It's a 1/3 with Defender. When it dies, draw a card. Okay, this card's pretty rubbish. Next up, we've got another really weird one. Like, I don't understand this card. I saw this because it's the first, when I arrived on the website earlier, it's like the first thing I saw. And because I love borrows, first of all, and it's a little bit disappointing. You create X 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They gain menace and haste until end of turn. So that's like, whoa, epic. Then each opponent creates X -1 of those tokens with vigilance as well. So I guess you just create like an army, and then you've got one more than the opponent, and they all swing at each other, and they all die except for the one. I just don't understand like the point of this card. Look, I guess we'll have to see if there's some reason why that would be cool. Like maybe a card that says like you do 2 damage for each samurai that's attacking or something. But so far it's been like you only want one of your samurais to attack each turn, and this is making lots of samurais. So my only thinking is you just do it for X is 1. So then you get 1 and he gets none. So it's a 3 mana, make 1 samurai. That's pretty rubbish. Like, I don't get it. Please let me know what you think about this card in the comments, because it's totally baffling me. Next up, and last but not least, as we have already seen, Mecha Titan, we are looking at Story Weave, a 3 mana instant. You can choose one. You either can put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, or you can put 2 law counters on a target saga you control, and then the next time one or more enchantment creatures enters the battlefield under your control this turn, each enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So basically, that is freaking amazing. You just like speed up these sagas so that they flip and come back as creatures that turn, and then they all come in with an additional +2/+2. That's freaking epic. That's definitely going in the the deck we were talking about with Generous Visitor and things. I'm certain this is going to see play. And it's kind of versatile, if you don't have any sagas, you can just buff a creature or something. It's pretty cool. So I wish it was 2 mana, but still, I think it's definitely going to see play. All right, let's do one more refresher. Nothing else. Check magic spoiler. No. All right. So that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys all tomorrow, because I'm going to go to bed now. But I'll see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews. I've got some new stuff. I actually ended in position 1,400 and something. It was so close. I played right to the finish line. And I just had a break that I had to do dinner. And I had a little bit of a losing streak. before dinner, and it just wasn't enough time to push me through into the top 1,200. But thank you all for bearing with me in this attempt. I'm going to give it another try at the end of next month for sure. But back to some more sort of stuff that I can play safely in plat and start to, innovate again. And I've got a couple of sweet brews waiting for you guys. So don't forget to tune in for that. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. This is Lone Fox from the Brew-Lab, signing out. Peace, y'all.